Well, welcome everyone. My name is Tina Burnside and I'm one of the co-founders of the Minnesota African American Heritage Museum and Gallery. And we're glad that you all could make it here for our Visionary Voices program. And Coventry Collins, I think you might have met her, she's the other co-founder, she was in the museum. And so today we're going to have performances by the members of our Visionary Voices program. And I'm going to introduce Rose-Marie Athiley, who was the program facilitator, and she worked with these young ladies for 10 weeks. And so she's going to do a little introduction. Oh, and there's Coventry Collins, the other co-founder of the museum. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Rose-Marie, and then she'll introduce the program, and then we'll get started. And thank you all for coming out to support our youth.
Hi, my name is Rose-Marie Athiley. I've been the facilitator who has the joy of working with these girls for the past 10 weeks. So over the past 10 weeks, they've been working on different types of creative writing, from monologues to short stories and spoken words, and so each week had a different focus. And we talked about like a lot of topics like growing up and injustice and racism and love and happiness. And so their poems kind of are a combination of all of those things. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm really excited. If you are feeling what they're saying, give them some claps and woos and snaps of encouragement. And yeah, so thank you so much, and we're going to get started with the first piece.
Hello, my name is Grace Kelly, and I'm 14, and this is my first piece, Dear America. Dear America, I am sick of your chains dragging me down. I feel unworthy and of silence as the seas on a beach. Inside me, I feel desperate and hopeful. My family is a victim. His soul crumbling under our hearts. Every person should treat each other like brothers and sisters, as Tupac said himself. My insides feel hollow and my limbs numb, a flame fuming inside my eyes and soul. We need to make a change together. Our history is constantly persistent, just like the beautiful choirs on a Sunday church afternoon. We need a change. I am sick of the Pledge of Allegiance, justice for all, and then you watch us fall. We shouldn't have to be scared to drive or walk or even talk because of our race and face. There's war on the streets instead of war on poverty. We're suffering, can't you see? Spray them, causing us to flee. There's a storm of guilt and shame. All of us are being put to blame. My insides set aflame while they put us in pain. We who seek justice, oh so far away, just like crashing waves. We need to seek a difference. I am tired. Maybe it's the hopelessness of this all, or maybe my knees weep when I fall. We are the future, as they say, but instead the destruction is taking it away. Give the earth some love for all our sakes. I have one more thing to say before you walk away. We need to start making changes, seeing each other as humans instead of strangers, uplift each other along with heal each other. You will not silence us for our rights together. Let's say their names. Sincerely, your angry citizen, Grace.
Hi, my name is Helena Wheeler. I'm 14 years old and I go to Southwest High School. Love is hard, dramatic, crazy, fun, scared, happy, difficult. I could go on and on with adjectives describing love. Love is full of ups and downs, twists and turns, and unthinkable truths. Love is endless. The definition of love is universal. The way I see love is different from your perspective. I've never experienced love in a romantic way, but I can just imagine how beautiful it is. Love is important. Everybody wants to have it in their lives. Love is needed. Love is stupid. Love is demanding.
Hello, I'm Mariyah. I'm a 17-year-old senior that goes to Southwest High School. Growing up. Growing up is difficult, especially because nobody really knows how to. Humans just gain knowledge by making mistakes and learning from them. As a baby, you are very codependent, and that's because you have no knowledge. As a baby, all you know is eat, sleep, cry, and poop. But as you get older, your wisdom and awareness increase. You become more conscious and in tune with yourself. Your body grows, and so does your mind. You become more independent and make your own story. You determine your own fate. You are your own shining star. When you become more attentive in your decision making, that's when you know you're growing up.
My name is Beatriz Kelly. I'm 16, and this is my first piece, My Experience with Racism. It had been a gloomy day. I remember my insignificance. I wasn't even half as tall as my dad, and my sibling was even smaller. Our voices just echoes of what they are now. My mom and dad were going through a separation, so we stayed at his house part-time. We walked out of the front door and down the driveway, all giggly and childlike. I remember putting my hand on my dad's car door handle before we were all halted by an off-putting white voice. Before I knew it, I had my first encounter with racism. This lady, walking in the street past our car past us, called us niggers. I had no clue what this violent word meant, but from the look on my father's face, I knew it was trouble. He quickly told us to get in the car, so we did. I was deathly afraid of what was happening. He had a look on his face that could only be described as pure rage. Once we were in the car, he walked back to where the white woman was at the end of the driveway and slapped her across the face. He said something along the lines of, "If you ever call me and my children that again, there will be worse." She ran home crying, and we never saw her again. Once my dad got into the car, I felt an immense amount of relief, but I was still worried. I didn't know what he had done completely until I was older. When he retold this story, he found amusement in his violence. He was proud of his reaction, and as a child, I was too. I still often wonder why this had to happen to us and why we can only laugh now.
My name is Naveya Edwards, beauty standards. What do we think of when we hear beauty standards? Let me tell you what others might think when they hear beauty standards. They will think skinny body, they will think blue eyes, they will think straight blonde hair, they will think white skin, they will think perfect body weight, they will think makeup. When I think of beauty standards, I think of curvy body, dark skin, and kinky hair. They will say you have to reach a certain point to be beautiful. The way I see beauty standards is the way you put them out to be. Your beauty standards are always going to be different than mine. Everybody thinks you have to be a certain way, look a certain way, talk a certain way, but really you don't need to reach a certain point to be beautiful. You are beautiful.
Hi, my name is Avis. We learn in 8th grade, and I go to Anthony Middle School. Out of place. Out of place is the feeling of being alone or a feeling that nobody gets you. Many people making jokes while downgrading your beautiful features, calling you an angry black girl while you're expressing yourself, while calling you a hot Cheeto girl used as another form of calling you ghetto. But they'll never understand you or your culture. They'll touch your hair without consent, judge you and where you live, just because they think that they say they get you. Or say that they have black friends or that their step cousin is mixed. But it still doesn't change the fact that they're rich, entitled, white kids that think that everything has to go their way. They live for the trend, pick up your culture and say that they made it while it's whitewashed to the core. Openly saying the N-word knowing it was used to downgrade us and it has a strong meaning to it, while saying it's not a big deal. But when you call them a cracker, you're being racist and it hurts their feelings. They'll compare it to the N-word or slurs that have you called us. They'll call us many words that hurt our feelings and then say we're supposed to get over it. Saying that they are not racist but continue to drag us down until we're insecure about ourselves and make us want to change our appearance until we're good enough and fit their beauty standards. They'll do many microaggressions without noticing, clutching their purse when the black male with dreadlocks wearing black walks past them, calling them ghetto just because of their skin color without even getting to know them. Follow you around the store and think that you are stealing while the white kids steal from them, but they're still focused on you because of your melanin that you were born with, when theirs barely show. So they pick on you or talk about your kinky hair type, how big your lips and nose are, so don't tell me how out of place you feel when you're the only white person in the room when you make me feel like this.
Hello, my name is Macaria, but most people call me Kari. I'm 13 years old, and this is my poem called Growing Up. Growing up is difficult to explain. I don't know how it feels to be grown up. I just keep thinking, is it scary, fun, or hard? Or is it just all three at once? I'm afraid if I grow up, what will it be like? Carefree and having fun all the time? Or caring about every little detail and working 9 to 5, 24/7? Growing up is like a roller coaster. There are ups and downs, right turns and wrong turns, but at the end, it all comes to a stop. Sometimes I just want to ask parents, is having a child like having a pet? Cleaning up after them, wiping up their messes, or what? But at the end, I can stop worrying, because I have a family who show me love and affection.
Hello, I'm Mariyah. The piece is called My Blackness. I love my blackness because it's beautiful. What's there not to like? I smell like shea butter and blue magic. My blackness is a light. I wonder why they hate us. Our culture is graceful. We protest, they kill us. We show mercy and stay faithful. So many are murdered, they look just like me. Dark-skinned, brown eyes, and some are still teens. I love to go back to when we stayed in the crib, before they had switches and started killing kids. The streets are dangerous, they show mercy to none. I've lost friends, cousins, families to guns. It's 2022 and the death toll is rising. I'm scared of what's next, my classmates are dying. Thinking of my future, what's next to come. Hopefully my brothers can put down that gun. Hopefully my sisters can finally find peace where they love their blackness just like you and me.
My name is Naveya and I'm 14 years old. Growing up, my birthday is in 6 days and I'm about to be 14 years old and it's scary growing up. More responsibilities, more things to think about. What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? You have to think about the future and not just the present. If you really think about it, it's very scary. It's like driving for the first time. It's all very scary, but you have to try being who you want to be for the future. The future is a roller coaster. Highs and lows, starts slow and gets faster. And when it slows down, it's the end. So growing up is a little scary, more than what you would think. It's okay not to know what's next.
View of silence. For me, he made a view of silence. No running children, no family to laugh with. His back to a running TV is what I saw. I was moved by songs of death, songs of tragedy and ruin, and still, his back to a running TV is what I saw. Left alone and in grief, I watched his back. I watched it. I watched it, all hunched over, stuck inside itself, and I pounced. I clawed and a bit and rapidly went mad. An animal attacking its cage. I thought like I saw death. For me, he made the sound of laughter with his back to a running TV. I wish the gods would strike him down, leaving him with nothing but his eyes to look, to see me, rather than mad and all him. I was not made this way, or maybe I was. An attention whore, one screaming bloody murder from the get-go. I wish to never be a view of silence. I wish to face the world, heart uncaged, open and reckless and impulsive, all the things I was groomed to despise. Eye to eye, heart to heart, I will live. While he has his view of silence, I will live.
Growing up. Growing up is definitely as hard as they say it is. For me, growing up, it always felt like a Ferris wheel, constantly repeating the same cycles. When I was little, I always thought of the future. What was I going to be like when I'm in high school, or am I still going to be friends with the same people? Every thought was a question. Once I met those milestones, I was disappointed because it wasn't what I expected to be. Growing up is overrated, but it's necessary because you can't stay the same forever. No matter how hard you try, some point in time, you just grow up. The first time I really noticed that I mentally grew up is when I finally didn't care if I liked the color pink. It's a silly analogy, but it's true. When I was younger, I hated the color pink. I thought it was expected of me because I'm a girl, so I decided that pink was the worst color. When I hit 8th grade year was really when I realized that nobody cared if I hated the color pink or loved the color blue, because it's a color. Worrying about other people's perspective can be damaging. Not only is it limiting your opinion, but you're putting yourself into a box.
Beauty standards. You don't have to be a blue-eyed blonde to be beautiful. You don't have to be a certain body weight to be beautiful. You can be as dark as midnight. You can have the biggest fro of all and still be beautiful. Just because you have thick, long, and curly hair doesn't mean you're the odd one out. Just because we have melanin in our skin does not make us a threat.
Love is. Love is the heat forming in your cheeks like a warm apple pie when you hear their name. Love is the way the sun sets and the moon can shine as bright as you smile. Love is the waves of the sea feeding the sand no matter how much they are pushed away. Love is. Love is the heartbeat in your chest beating faster than a cold fall evening, a feeling of peace. Love is like taking a bite out of a fresh clementine as the sweetness hits your tongue. Love is a blanket, wrapping their arms around you in their warm embrace. Love is.
What is happiness? Happiness can be a memory of you. It doesn't have to come now. It can come later within time. My definition of happiness is a form of doing something that helps you face reality when death has no reality. Happiness can set you free. A form of happiness is like when you finish a book that you stopped reading. A feeling when you're doing something that you love. Happiness can be a source of light when everything is dark. Happiness is like when a flower blossoms, or a butterfly outside of its chrysalis, or the feeling a dog has when it's shown love. So what is happiness? Or it can be anything.
Why I write? I write because I'm a dramatic. I sit with words and twist and turn them. Writing makes me feel free.
I can write anything I'm thinking about without being judged.
I write to free up space in my head. It helps me express my feelings.
It's the only thing that calms me.
I write because I've always felt misunderstood.
Writing makes me feel
like a butterfly coming out of its chrysalis.
Like nothing even matters.
Like every other person.
like I can express my feelings freely.
Like I just removed the layer of my skin.
Like I have a free therapist. I feel free. Like my head is in the clouds.
I couldn't really title myself as a writer. It's a feeling I have.
I write because
I'm petrified.
Because I need answers.
Because it makes me feel like a deer running through a flowery field.
An escape from reality.
Because it is very calming. I can just be me, but on paper.
Because it doesn't have to fit a certain standard.
Because I'm scared. Because I can be open and not feel like someone is hovering over me.
Because when I don't write, my thoughts get clustered up together.
Because I can write it my way, without anyone telling me, write it like this or write it like that.
As long as you think it's enough.
Because I'm lonely, and words are the only thing that flow from a creator. They're the only things that can connect with and across every single bridge.
Writing is a bridge. Writing helps me find closure and be okay with how I feel.
I write not just for fun, but to speak about my experience of injustice and hurt.
I write to forget, to have that thought, memory, event erased from my mind.
I write without expectation of an answer.
I write to ease my mind from most things that are too painful to say out loud.
I write to better understand how I feel.
I write to escape reality.
I write to be free.
We want to thank you all for coming. This concludes our show, but this was just a beautiful, powerful, inspiring work by these young ladies. And so we appreciate you all for coming out and supporting them, and thank you very much.
You guys did